Today on Public Eye News, Marquette Mountain has been sold and Negaunee Schools honored local veterans.
Later in the show, Max Stevens will have your weather and Devontae Stein will have your sports. Hi, I'm Kayla Rydell.
I'm Devontae Stein and welcome to Public Eye News. United States Olympic Training Site weightlifting team finished first place this weekend in the co-ed division at USA Weightlifting's National University Championship in California. The top lifter on the women's side was Destiny Young. Young lifted 61 kilograms in the snatch and 74 in the clean, totaling 135 kilograms. Young earned a gold medal for each of her lifts. The top lifter on the men's side was Nate Lewis. Lewis lifted 145 kilograms in the snatch and 190 in the clean, totaling him with 335 kilograms. Lewis earned silver and gold in his respective lifts. NMU as a team finished first with 191 points. Marquette Mountain and all 330 of its acres was purchased by new ownership. Peter and Lois DeVoer sold the property to Eric and Sarah Jorgensen. Eric is the president and CEO of JX Enterprises Incorporated, a family business that serves the heavy-duty truck transportation industry in Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Marquette Mountain General Manager Andrew Farren said, quote, Jorgensen even quoted in his high school yearbook as wanting to own a ski area someday. As an avid skier and mountain biker, he is well aware of industry standards and expectations, something that I believe will lead to very strong leadership. His entire marketing approach is based on the Marquette experience, focusing on the college, restaurants, hotels, trails, campgrounds, and sites that make Marquette special, unquote.
A Calumet man has been charged with one count of operating a methamphetamine lab after detectives from Upper Peninsula Substance Enforcement Team executed a search warrant for the man's house on Monday. The detectives discovered small amounts of methamphetamines along with pseudoephedrine and large amounts of waste products found in the lab in the basement of the man's house. The man, who has been identified as 39-year-old Brian Pulsari, has been arraigned and officially charged with operating a meth lab, delivering/manufacture of meth, fourth-degree child abuse, and soliciting another to obtain pseudoephedrine. Pulsari is set to be back in court for a preliminary exam on March 4th with a bond set for $10,000. And on Wednesday, the Negaunee boys basketball team was set to hit the court, but before they could play, the local veterans took to the court. An annual event in Negaunee, veterans of the area are invited to attend the game and be honored in a special ceremony before the game. The event played music for each branch of the military and left an open chair to represent all veterans missing in action. The ceremony is designed to honor and show respect and support from the community to all veterans. The school set the annual event to happen during games with local opposing teams, which had last night's against the Westwood Patriots, and last year the event occurred during a game against Ishpeming.
A man who was accused of 2 murders was freed from prison after 25 years, thanks to a piece of evidence that was not disclosed to his defense team decades ago. Calvin Bright, who's 47, always maintained his innocence and even passed a polygraph test in which he was asked if he committed the murders. Bright is 15 credits away from earning his associate's degree as he plans to pursue criminal justice and open an investigation firm. Bright said, quote, now I can do something about the next person that winds up in the predicament that I went into, and now I can do something about it, unquote. Bright was released on time served and will be on probation for 5 years. Bright has also agreed not to sue the district as a condition of his release. U.S. District Judge Jack Weinstein, who was nominated by President Lyndon Johnson, is retiring at age 98. Weinstein was known for contributing on a case that struck down racial segregation in public schools, as well as favoring lenient sentences and pushing rehabilitation. Weinstein was the longest-serving federal judge as he spent a near 53 years on the bench. Weinstein enlisted in the Navy after the bombing at Pearl Harbor and served on a submarine. After the war, Weinstein graduated from Brooklyn College and Columbia Law School. In his retirement, he says he plans to spend more time with his wife and work with one of his songs on a book about Jim Crow laws. And stay tuned, because after this break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. This week on UTR, we're going to feature some timeless treats, Michigan style. That's right, for the next 30 minutes, we'll eat classic meat, vegetable gems in a jar, a large number of nuts, and candy we've counted on for over a century. All things we love, made right here for years. This is an under the radar you won't want to miss.
Tonight at 9:30, Friday at 5 p.m., and Saturday night at 10:30.
Welcome back. Thursday marked a sharp increase in deaths and infections from the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. The province of Hubei, which has reported over 13,000 cases, has been hit the hardest and has responded by applying a new classification system that broadens the diagnosis. Currently, over 20 countries have reported having the virus, as the third death outside of China just occurred with Japan's first death. The death toll in China jumped seemingly overnight from 254 to over 1,300, and the current confirmed cases of the disease jumped to around 50,000. Travel continues to be difficult, and there's currently no end in sight. The FBI has joined police in South Carolina in a desperate search for a missing 6-year-old girl. Faye Marie Swetlick was last seen Monday afternoon playing in her front yard. Investigators have released this video showing her getting off a school bus just before she disappeared. Janet Shamlian is in Casey, South Carolina.
This is 6-year-old Faye Swetlick. As she got off her school bus Monday, the first grader was last seen that afternoon playing in the front yard of her home where she lives with her mom and grandmother.
It's the biggest law enforcement operation I've ever seen.
Sergeant Evan Antley says more than 300 police officers and FBI agents are blanketing the neighborhood, going door to door for clues.
Why can't it be an Amber Alert?
Amber Alerts are a little different. We have to have specific information that she was abducted. At this point, we have not ruled out that Faith could have wandered into the woods playing, gotten lost, and has not found her way back home yet.
They've blocked off the subdivision from where Faye disappeared. Only residents can come and go. And last night, detectives released these photos in search of the drivers of these two cars nearby when Faye disappeared. An emotional time for parents here.
Well, everyone is praying constantly. Everyone that I know is just sick. Just worried sick.
Lindsey Vaughn's son Beckham is friends with Faye at school.
Do you think he grasps the enormity of what's going on?
Kind of, actually. He's been nervous about being in the yard. He's been nervous about locking the doors. So I think just all the talk of possibly someone hurting her has really affected him.
Friends and neighbors have met at a nearby church to pray for Faye's safe return. Her grandmother and a family friend who didn't want to be on camera say Faye has a smile that would melt your heart.
Oh, my baby back. We gotta find her.
The oil industry in South Sudan has left the water and soil contaminated with toxic chemicals and heavy metals. Reports say there are numerous accounts of alarming birth defects, miscarriages, and other health problems among residents of the area. An infant in the area was born with 6 fingers on both hands, a stunned leg, a deformed foot, along with kidney swelling. Reports say the government and oil companies have been aware for years of the contamination from oil drilling and that it can cause health problems. However, little has been done to clean up their mess. Promises made by government and the companies both have been repeatedly broken. A chemical junkyard that was overflowing with black sludge containing rows of stacked shipping containers with open exposed chemical bags caught fire in May and has yet to be cleaned up. A report recommended a 5-year cleanup that would cost about $58 million. The country's oil industry is planned to generate $99 million in revenue each month from July 2019 to June 2020, although no cleanup date has been set. A massive iceberg almost as big as Las Vegas has broken off the edge of Antarctica. CBS' Riley Carlson is in London with more on the melting. Scientists say shows no signs of stopping.
This satellite photo from the European Space Agency shows the massive iceberg quickly shattering into pieces after breaking away from Antarctica's Pine Island Glacier. It happened last week as temperatures in areas of the South Pole spiked to a record 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's among the fastest warming regions of the planet. We hear a lot about the Arctic, but this particular part of the Antarctic Peninsula is warming very quickly.
Scientists also captured this moment when a glacier collapsed in the same region. It's estimated the block of ice weighs thousands of tons and is more than 130 feet high.
These icebergs aren't just the size of houses, they're the size of whole blocks of houses.
Experts say climate change is causing glaciers to lose their ability to replenish and stay in place. And Chilean researchers at a base in Antarctica released this video showing part of the continent without snow because of rising temperatures. Scientists believe climate change has caused so much melting at the South Pole that the giant ice sheet is now on course to crumble. Riley Carlson, CBS News, London.
And after this break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
On country music, Dolly Parton makes it big.
Dolly wanted to be everywhere, and that's what she did.
The stormy marriage of George Jones and Tammy Wynette.
I think people saw their own lives in these songs.
And Waylon and Willie become outlaws.
They were willing to forgive us some of our misgivings as long as the music was good.
When country music continues.
Friday night at 9 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. My name is Max Stevens. I'm going to be taking you through your weather forecast for today. As you can see behind me on the NMU Skycam, we've got some scattered snow showers out there. It's another overcast day, pretty cold as well. Taking a look now at our current conditions, we've got some snow with a temperature at about 9 degrees, winds out of the northwest at 16 miles per hour, barometric pressure at 30.24 and rising. Tonight, it's going to be real cold, so break out your warmest PJ pants as the low will be -1 with winds out of the west at 20 miles per hour. Taking a look at tomorrow, the sun will poke through a little bit, a high of 18 with winds out of the southwest at 20 miles an hour. Taking a look now across the UP, 0 degrees in Sault Ste. Marie, 9 degrees and overcast down in Manistique. Escanaba's at 12 and Menominee's at 11, also overcast over there. 8 at Iron Mountain, 1 in Ironwood with a little bit of sun poking through, 5 and overcast up in Houghton, and of course back here in Marquette, scattered snow showers with 9 degrees. Taking a look now at our week ahead. Saturday, we have a high of 31, a low of 16 and cloudy. Sunday, a high of 19, a low of 8 and cloudy. And Monday, a high of 29, a low of 21 and cloudy. Well, Devontae, it looks like it's going to be warming up here over the next couple of days, and I hear things are heating up in the NBA with the All-Star break coming up.
You got that right. Thanks, Max. Checking out some NBA action from last night, the Washington Wizards took down the Knicks 114-96. Bradley Beal had 30 points in the win. The Dallas Mavericks soared past the Kings 130-111. Luka Doncic scored 33 points, grabbed 12 boards, and dished out 8 assists in the dominant performance. The Lakers edged past the Nuggets in overtime 120-116. LeBron James notches another triple-double, scoring 32 points, grabbing 12 rebounds, and dishing out 14 assists. Anthony Davis also had 33 points in the win. The Utah Jazz bested the Heat 116-101. Rudy Gobert had 16 points with 20 boards as well as 2 blocks in the win. The Brooklyn Nets snapped the Raptors' franchise best 15-game win streak. The Nets would win 101-91. Serge Ibaka had 28 points and 9 boards in the loss for the Raptors. 2 Ohio State football players were charged with kidnapping and rape. Both players were immediately kicked off the Buckeyes team. The ex-cornerback Amir Reep and ex-safety Justin Wynn were charged with 2 felonies, rape with threat of force and kidnapping to engage in sexual activity. Head coach Ryan Day made a statement saying, quote, "I'm not making any statement on the criminal charges, but it is clear they did not live up to our standards and expectations. The athletics department will make sure they both continue to have access to the health and well-being resources available to all students," unquote. Both players would have been seniors this upcoming fall. Both players contributed to the Buckeyes, totaling 29 tackles and 2 interceptions between the 2 of them. Devin Booker will replace recently injured Damian Lillard in the All-Star game. Lillard recently suffered a groin injury and announced he was withdrawing himself from All-Star weekend for recovery purposes. Booker will replace Lillard on Team LeBron and also replace him in the Mountain Dew 3-point contest. Booker is the first Suns player to make the All-Star team since Steve Nash in the 2011 season. Booker is previously the 2018 3-point champion. Booker this season has averaged 26.4 points per game on just 18 attempts, along with 6.3 assists per game. The NBA All-Star game is set to tip off on February 16th, while the 3-point contest is set to take part on Saturday the 15th. And that's all the time just kidding. It's going to be a little cold this weekend, -1.
Last night was so cold and it was so windy. I was walking home like late at night and God, the wind almost blew me over. The snowdrifts are getting so bad here in Marquette. I'm having such a bad time with it. The snow is ridiculous. But that's all the time we have for you today at Public Eye News. Thanks for tuning in and we will see you again tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.